And we are live. Greetings, Otaku Faithful, and those joining on Beamly.com. Once again, this is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief.
Animerick here, Hand the King, ready to break this episode of Game of Thrones down.
SMX Wing Master Whispers. Let's do this.
Bas Nation here. Let's go.
Bankai 922, Master of Ships.
And we are here to bring you yet again another small council live discussion right here on Otaku Weekly. And as always, here to bring you the latest in this week's small council live discussion. And this will be our roundtable discussion on Season 4, Episode 7, entitled Mockingbird. So, first we're going to kick things off with giving our general thoughts on the episode as a whole. And let's go ahead and let's kick things off with bankai. Let me know what you think.
Overall, I thought this was a very good episode. I was actually very surprised. I didn't expect the thing with Tyrion to be that emotional. I was like, whoa. It really took me by surprise. And the whole thing with the Hound, too. I was like, wow. So many connections between that. So overall, yeah, great episode.
Okay, and what are you thinking, Steve?
I thought it was overall a really good episode. It felt like there wasn't that much to talk about. There was a lot of setup for the last, and overall, I thought the last scene with Tyrion, especially, or one of the last scenes, was actually better than the speech in the previous episode. I thought that was really heartfelt and one of the better scenes of the season. So overall, I thought it was a good episode and well done.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Bas?
So, I thought this episode was a very solid episode. I didn't expect it to be as good. It took me by surprise considering how good the last episode was. I came into this episode thinking it wouldn't be that good, but the Tyrion scenes again, his recent scenes have been incredible. The scenes with Arya and The Hound, the Lysa, Littlefinger scenes, just top notch. It seems like they filled in the gaps, and like it's a really solid. Like they really set it up for next episode, and it's just we're ready to go now.
And what are your thoughts, Ray?
Very good episode. I like how you pointed out in your review, Larry, how it was great insight, and that's pretty much what it was. It was pretty much how everyone's dealing with their various current situation, which I was really nice to get. That's why I kind of like the fact this episode was so broken up among other characters. We got an insight into each main character we've been following all season long. And I will add this: Tyrion or Peter Dinklage has had two of the best scenes of the entire season. I find it ironic or coincidental that those 2 weeks leading up to his performance in X-Men Days of Future Past. I'm just saying. I find it really, really coincidental in that. Really flexing his acting muscles these past 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's completely coincidental because HBO is owned by Warner Brothers, not Fox.
Yeah. But I'm saying it was kind of nice. I mean, everything, falls into place at obvious times.
Oh, yeah, he getting paid. No doubt about that. Yeah. He getting paid. And so that's going to bring me to my general thoughts on the episode. And as I mentioned in my review, I found it to be a decent enough episode. I do agree with Steve in the sense that there isn't too much to talk about. But then again, that's because they really took the time to sort of slow things down, so that they could slowly bring us back up to bring the tensions back up with next week's episode. So this is kind of I guess you could call it the intimate intermission of the season. This is the point in time where we sort of catch our breath before we get ready to go on the roller coaster that will be the climax of the season. So when you take that into consideration, it does make sense. But generally speaking, a few good scenes. Most of them, I will say, are unconsequential or forgettable. A few. Case in point, we in the pre-show rundown, I was the only one that brought up the Brienne story. And for any of you all who caught my review for this episode, I completely forgot about it. I didn't even mention it. I completely forgot about it. So, But yeah, that's neither here or there. That's pretty much my overall thoughts on Mockingbird. So so now I'm gonna segue this over to Bankai for our first topic of discussion.
Okay, so in this episode, we had this interesting thing going on with Arya and the Hound. Now, they see this guy who's been stabbed by somebody. Somebody stabbed him. These guys. I think it was the guys who were after the Hound, because that happened like the previous episode or one before it. So, he basically, they're talking small talk about, him and life and up in the north and whatnot. And eventually what the Hound does is he kills the guy because he doesn't want him to see him suffer from the wound. Out of nowhere, this guy shows up, goes on top of the Hound, and bites him in the neck. And he kills them. But before he kills them, the guy says, basically, why are you after me? He says, for silver. He's like, King Joffrey's dead. A little small talk there. And it was that funny scene with Arya. Like, she says, the Hound's ask her, oh, you going to kill him? He's like, I don't know his name. And he says, what's your name? And she basically stabs him.
Yeah.
And this segues into this interesting conversation when Arya notices the wound on the Hound's neck because he's trying to sew it up. And she's going to, let me solidarize it with fire. And he's like, no fire, no fire. And then this brings up the Mountain. His talk about what his brother did to him. And I thought this was probably the first time I've seen the Hound, well, there were probably other scenes where he was like this, but for me, I found this very impactful. First time when he was really, had a soft side about him. This was an emotional scene with Arya, and I found it interesting that this scene with the Hound, bringing up his brother, the Mountain, it kind of correlates, not in a strong way, but kind of with the Mountain when we're introduced to the Mountain in King's Landing. But I found it a very interesting scene, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I found myself surprised as to how much I actually enjoyed the Arya and Hound scenes.
Yeah.
I think what really sells it for me is the Hound. His character is such a great character. He's F the world attitude, how he doesn't give a shit that he's with a little girl and he's doing all this shit. And the contrast between Arya and the Hound is something that's been really good. It's been really well done. I like Arya's character now. She's completely ruthless. She's a realist. She understands how the world is, how the world works better than most people do. This the scene from this episode in general, I found it really good. The Hound really opened up. He doesn't open up like this the way he did in the show. He doesn't open up like this in the book, and I found it a revelation myself when I was really interested by it. He says himself, the scar on his face, that's not what hurts him. It's a scar of his family like turning their back to him, even his father and his brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a strong scene. It was a solid scene. Definitely.
The two things that I really loved from this scene were with Arya, this duality. In the beginning, the first scene, you see the darkness in Arya, what she's become. With the fact that she was able to kill pretty much without even like a whimper or a wink, And then in the other scene, you see who Arya was, a kind little girl, nice, a little rambunctious, but still, nice. She was willing to, despite the fact that we know that she hates the Hound, she was willing to, to help him with his wound and whatnot. So I like the fact they kind of they showed the duality that is Arya's character right now. What I will say, then the Hound, like Larry said, the fact that this is the first time he opened up the entire series, but and coincidentally enough, he didn't have his armor on and everything, so that was really cool a symbolic kind of thing right there. But what I do not want Arya and the Hound to be friends or anything. I want Arya to keep the Hound on his death list. I want Arya because I like where Arya's going as a character, and I want the Hound to be the first one that gets crossed off her death list to her by her hand. I think that would be really interesting because I think that would be like her last connection before she does finally go to Bravos. Before she finally does lose that coin, she can finish up and then move on. I don't necessarily want the Hound and Arya to go to Bravos together. I just don't. That's just my personal opinion.
And you know what? I want to go ahead and I want to chime in with something that that Bas says. First off, I want to establish this because I think it gives off the wrong message. This idea that, well, first off, for the record, I don't really care much for what they're doing with Arya, the way she's sort of becoming a killer. Don't really care for that. Second, this idea that, oh, you know, she's, you know, more ruthless. She's becoming a realist. Here's the thing. I often identify myself as a realist because I typically exercise more fucking common sense than most people. And here's the thing. Being a realist does not automatically equate to being a pessimist.
Your job.
There is a huge difference between that. So this idea that Arya has to be ruthless because it's more realistic, that's a myth. That's a false impression. And I think it's the wrong, well, it might be the right impression that the show wants to give, but I think that's the absolute wrong impression to give about her character. Now, if they want to go ahead and they want to do this thing where it's sort of like Arya has become corrupted by the world, and that's what she's, you know, that's the result, that is very realistic because that happens to people all the time. But I just don't like that. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth when someone says, "Oh yeah, you have to be more ruthless because it's realistic." No, it's more pessimistic, but not realistic.
It feels like everybody wants her to become a little murderer. That's why I'm a big Arya fan, but it feels like everybody wants her to become this little murderer.
Well, no, that's what everyone does. And my thing is like I don't mind Arya. Well, okay, first off, let's get this straight. When I did my character spotlight on Arya, I said that I wanted her to be an Avenger. An Avenger is not the same thing as a murderer. Murder is identified as the unlawful taking of life. If you're avenging someone, then that means you're fulfilling some sense of justice, whether it's your own justice or the universe's justice or this is any other. It might not necessarily be within the context of the laws of man, but it is still fulfilling some type of justice dictated by some type of code, whether the person's code or someone else's code. Under that definition, that is not murder. Vigilantism, absolutely, but not murder. And I think that would have made more sense. That's what I want Arya to be. Granted, I've read many things that would suggest that that's not going to fucking happen, but I mean, hell, we already saw some of the changes they already made to the show, so who knows?
I don't think.
But I see Arya as an Avenger still. She hasn't killed not one innocent people. Everyone she's killed is someone who's wronged her in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but homeboy that she killed in this episode verbally threatened her, so she killed him. That punishment does not fit the crime.
True. I argue that.
Gradually.
Yeah, but that but just in the context of things, like just to touch on your point before, I don't think ruthlessness is synonymous with pessimism. She doesn't have to be a pessimist because she's ruthless. What I meant by realist is that she knows when to kill, and without hesitating to do so, she would do so, and she knows when to be kind. Without hesitating, she would be kind. So she understands what she needs to do to survive in this world. And with killing that guy, I don't think it's unjustifiable murder because that guy was taken from the Black Cells by Yoren, and he's like one of the scummiest scums in the world, and he, for gold, wanted to kill Hound and Arya as well. Let's be real. So her killing him, I don't think isn't unjustified. I think it is justified. And killing him is a better step to take.
They wouldn't be able to walk away. They had to have killed him. He would have kept coming.
Yeah, I think they had to have killed him, and I think that's what I mean by ruthless. As a kid a kid is not going to kill someone, and them doing so does make them, in a sense, ruthless. But it makes them. But that's why I said realist as well, because they've got both of those aspects within them.
But here's my thing. I don't argue that her killing that guy was the wrong thing to do. I'm just arguing about the justification for doing so. That's my point. What it is that the show focuses on as her justification. This implication that she's just going to be a cold-blooded murderer. No, I don't have time for that shit.
I don't think they're picturing her as a cold-blooded murderer, and I don't think I was saying that as well. Just in the context of that situation, her killing the guy, I think, was very justified. As Rick said, if they had left or just left him alone, he probably would have come back and killed him in his sleep just to get the gold. as a
Right.
reward for killing the Hound.
Yeah.
Within this context, I think it was justified, which is, I think, what we were really talking about.
I agree.
In her scene with the Hound, there's something to these people that she wants to kill. I mean, like you said, the guy she ended up killing wasn't even like, it was justified, yes, but at the same time, I don't know if you knew much about her for Arya to do the killing. I mean, I don't know where maybe I'm going with this. It's just that,
So you think she should have let the Hound kill them instead?
no, I mean, it's justified, but clearly her character is getting darker and doing things.
Oh yeah. To be an
Yes,
Avenger, it's gotta be dark. I mean, you can't like consider yourself a good person and be an Avenger either.
Whoa!
That's a dark path. That is a dark path to follow. No,
Hold up. Say that again.
I say. I mean, that's a dark. To be an Avenger, to have that character like mine, that's a dark path to follow. Yes or no? You don't think so?
Depends on the character. To be honest. I mean, because let me see. I'm trying to. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. The Lone Ranger was an Avenger type character, right?
Okay, yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't consider him a dark character at all. I would even say Zorro is an Avenger type character. I don't consider him a dark character at all. The Punisher, that I do consider to be a dark character. He's very much an Avenger. That's his whole fucking MO.
Right.
So I think it all depends on the character.
Okay. The story
I mean,
that
hell, 'cause
character is
remember-
told in as well.
Because remember this, Rob was an Avenger. Do you consider him a dark character?
No.
No, but he. I see what you're saying.
Oberyn is an Avenger. Do you consider him a dark character?
All right, they're in themselves are not dark characters, but the path they chose, like Rob chose the path of war. That's a dark path to follow. Those are hard decisions you have to make. Oberyn, Oberyn, the way his story is portrayed, I mean, I just think the path of vengeance, I mean, it's not an easy path to follow. And it can corrupt you. So, I mean, Arya is, like I said, that's why this episode that scene did such a great job of showing the duality that is Arya's character right now.
Mm-hmm.
We saw her dark side and we saw her light side. Her
Right.
Sith and her Jedi.
Right. All right, so let's see. Final thoughts on the... Wait, so what?
I'm sorry. I'm saying we just have to see how how it all plays out in the end.
Right. Okay, so final thoughts on Arya and the Hound scene.
Thought they were really good scenes, especially the second one with the mountain. I thought that was seeing the Hound's soft side, if you will.
Yeah.
Really went a lot to
Right.
showcase his character, so I thought it was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
I concur.
All right, so let's see. I think Steve, I think you have the next topic.
Yeah. Topic this week for me, fortunately, is Dany.
Unfortunately.
She had couple scenes. The first one of which was with Dario, and telling him to take off his pants. A lot of important dialogue there. And the second one,
oh, you're being facetious. I see what you're doing.
and the second scene was with Dario leaving, and seeing a really just dejected Jorah. But Dany was able to, for one of the first times, take the advice of one of her advisors, which is probably the best part of the scene to me.
Yeah, exactly. But weren't we talking about this in the small council a couple of weeks ago? I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting.
Exactly. Right. I don't think Emilia Clarke is the best at going from really angry, listen to me queen to soft, agreeable queen that well.
I was
to be honest. But
I literally just about to bring this out. Is she a bit stale the way she's acting, the way she's
that's what I was.
her emotions?
Yeah, like when she
I
goes
noticed
from
that as
one,
well.
yeah. But the main thing was the fact that she listened to Jorah, took his advice, even after she was fooling around with Dario, she still listened to Jorah. So I thought it was an overall good scene. She did something she should have been doing a long time ago. What do you guys think?
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, it was. I think it was well done. Like what I see though coming if they focus on this is I actually though see the Second Sons having, particularly the Daro having a problem, like, and not maybe why didn't she tell me, or I see some conflict between Jorah and Dahar in the near future. That's how I see it. That setup was for you know
That what you think these scenes were set up for?
yeah, because I mean you have Jorah who definitely near last week Tywin dropped his face. That shit ran from Jorah when he saw the leave Dany's bedroom. He was like, "Oh no, he did not." Kind of look on his face. But then of course he kind of got comforted. I think he took pride in the fact, especially what Dany said at the end, where it's like, "No, don't tell him that I said. Tell him you changed my mind." I think Dany does the one smart thing I think Dany does do with the Second Sons is she does keep him on somewhat of a short leash, because unlike they're known as cutthroats, and like we know pretty much that Dahar is loyal to Dany. He's pledged, but we don't really know how the other 1,099 feel about Dany as far as like their role in things. So I think it's smart for her to keep them on a short leash whenever possible. So to send Jor over there with them was a very smart move on her part, and the fact on top of it she actually listened to Jorah. So, but I definitely could see that creating some conflict possibly.
I don't know. I don't know if the writers. I don't know how they want to portray Dario. Do they want him to come off as as a person that you can trust, or as someone that is sort of a bit iffy, and like her engaging with him in this sort of relationship isn't sort of a smart move? Because I mean, last season this guy did behead his co-commanders. Like, who's to say that he wouldn't do it again to Dany?
Very true.
But him doing that to this character that they've been portraying this season, it seems so unlike him to behead his. Like, I don't know. I think it's with the casting of this new actor, but I found it more believable, and I like the other actor that played Dario because I believe that guy would cut his. He's not trustworthy. I didn't find that guy trustworthy at all, and someone untrustworthy would do an act like that. But with this Dario, I don't think he would do something like that, and I don't know if that's me or if it's a mistake on their part, but I just seeing him, I don't know what to think of him anymore. Like, is he someone trustworthy or not?
Well,
I don't know.
Like, what do you guys
they are
think about him
self-swords.
engaging with Danny? Like, should she keep him so close to her, or should she engage in relations with him, or should she just stay away from him? Or
I'll say this: I don't think Dany loves Dario. I think she had a scratch that needed to be itched. He was there,
Of course.
and the sexual tension, the physical attraction has been there since season 3. Between she's always found him physically appealing. You could tell that with their interactions in season 3. That was gonna happen. That was bound to happen. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. To be honest. But I think she does keep them on a short leash because I don't think she fully trusts them. And
I was watching the previous episode recently, and I didn't notice this before, but in the small council with all of them, Tywin, Varys, and whatnot, and Varys was explaining the situation in Meereen. Tywin said that he wants to send more spies to Meereen. So does that mean in a future episode we will see more spies enter into Dany's company, possibly? Is that some sort of foreshadowing? I think it is. I don't know.
Tywin is a definition of the pen is mightier than the sword. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
he's proven that already. So, he's been proven that many of times. So, I guess we'll just wait and see how that plays out. I mean, again, Dany's storyline is so at a snail's pace that's all you can really say with Dany. It's like you gotta wait and see, because they give her so little screen time for whatever reason, and they focus on the other plot points. I don't know if it's like that in the books or not, but like her pacing and her story is just so off to where it actually takes you out of her story because of that.
But do you guys think there are going to be repercussions from her spending the night with Dario, or you think it, like Rick, like you said, it's just an itch?
It's
I
it,
think
Because
it's
an
going to
itch.
create.
I mean, you got Barristan there.
Barristan's not, but see, all right, we know
Just
Jorah
joking.
pretty
I was
much
just
loves
joking.
Dany.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because Barristan, he's just there to do his job, but Jorah has feelings for Dany. That's obvious, and
Right.
I can see that causing this tension. Like even Jorah is having an attitude, even if it is a one-sided tension, where Jorah just is constantly dogging Dario whenever he can. That's a problem as well because Dario is eventually going to snap on his ass. So.
Yeah, but I think Jorah's smarter than that.
I hope so.
So what do you guys? Yeah,
He's not knowingly going to engage in some type of conflict with someone who could potentially cause him harm, or someone who could or said conflict could potentially have him fall out of favor with Dany. He's smart.
Right.
I think he's smarter than that.
yeah.
Do you think the whole tell Dario that you convinced me is going to rub Dario the wrong way, or do you?
Absolutely. I think so. Absolutely. He's not gonna like that.
And I don't know if that's something I want to see, like this petty love triangle between the three.
We don't need a love triangle.
No, we don't. This is not the CW. We don't need a love triangle.
That was good. But also, just with Dany's character line in general, like, she does not look like she's going to do anything. It seems like she's just going to stay there and rule. And I really hope that for the next season, that's not all it's going to be. Or, is there something to look forward to with her character? Like, you guys know what I mean? Like, everyone has sort of something going for them, something that's setting up to something else. With
But
Dany,
see, I personally do like that because you see the rise of a ruler. You see a ruler that actually learns how to rule properly. I'm down for that storyline if that's the story they tell with Dany.
So more of the last thing we saw with the goat coming in and her sort of dealing with that, and just more of that.
Not just the court scenes, but just her learning everything that entwirls being a queen or a king. You know what I mean? That everything that comes with being a ruler. Because she said it best herself. How can I rule 7 kingdoms when I can't even keep Slaver's Bay in check together? That's
And actually there are the dragons as well. So
but here's my thing. You know, the idea that Dany's like, you know, she's trying to be fucking pragmatic about this whole thing. How can I rule the 7 kingdoms if I can't control Slaver's Bay? It's like, but why do I want to see you rule Slaver's Bay?
Because it increases the world building. You see another perspective of the world of Game of Thrones.
I'm sorry, Rick. No.
I like
Rick. You should know me better by now. If it ain't got shit to do with the main conflict, I ain't that fucking interested.
But like I said,
but if it results,
I don't read fucking Superboy when I can read Superman. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking happen.
Well, there are more little connections for her story to the main story in the book, but kind of don't do that much in the show. But as to her arcs thus far in season 2 and 3, I guess, because they've been a bit slow, all I can really say is that all those in Westeros are struggling. Each king, each lord having their own struggles. So I guess it'd just be fair to say that Dany's having the same struggles across the world. Not going to be too easy.
Exactly. But it's like I said in my review. I just don't know what we're supposed to be pivoting off of. I don't know what this is supposed to set up. You know what I mean? Especially not only that, dude, but consider this: the fact that it's like she's just gonna stay Meereen. She's not even gonna go to take over the fucking city she lost. She's sending other people to do that. So it's like, what are we waiting on now? If that's the fucking case, time skip this shit. I don't want to be seeing fucking episodes of Dany and scenes of Dany with her doing insurmountable shit. It's time skip it. It's time skip it. All right. So, next on the agenda.
I believe that will be Tyrion. Bas?
Yes. So yeah, Tyrion. He has been the standout character for the past 2 or 3 episodes, without a doubt. Peter Dinklage definitely deserves an Emmy, but this season, this episode, this scene, sorry, it started off with Jamie coming in and Jamie telling him, you threw your life away. Tyrion, you can tell that he sort of regretted what he did, but he didn't regret what he did, because he sort of has mixed feelings about what he did, because, I mean, he wants to live, but then he wants to also stick it to his dad, and just that reaction of his dad's face, he really enjoyed that. But I was talking to Rick about this before, but what if Tyrion had chosen Jamie to be his champion? If Jamie did accept, would Cersei have chosen the mountain, which would have meant the certain death for Jamie, or would she have chosen some shit stable boy where Jamie would actually live? That would have been a win-win for Tyrion, because Cersei and Tywin don't want Jamie to die, and if Jamie wants to save Tyrion, he would accept Tyrion's request as being a champion. What do you guys feel about that, first of all?
So you're asking is Cersei's hate for Tyrion more than Cersei's love for Jamie? And
yeah.
I believe the answer is yes.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Really?
I actually had another question about that, but I'll let you guys go ahead and tackle that one first.
I mean, listen. It's simple. Even before Joffrey died, Cersei did. Let's be honest. She didn't see eye to eye with Tyrion at all at times, and throughout season, she would always go aheads at times with him.
But
So
it wasn't
you
until
think
Joffrey died, though, that I don't think
Joffrey
Cersei
died.
wanted. She wanted Tyrion to be miserable and suffer, but kill him? No, because we found out she wasn't even the one that sent the guy to kill Tyrion during Blackwater. It was Joffrey.
Yeah, it was Joffrey.
I
So
will
you guys
say I agree
think-
with you, though.
Yeah.
Her lust for revenge for Joffrey would override her supposed love for Jamie, especially since they're not really on good terms as it is right now, anyways.
No.
I don't know. I don't think so, because I mean, she is full of revenge, and she's just running with emotions right now. But for someone like Tywin, I don't think he would allow Cersei to allow Jamie to. Well,
No,
actually, if
no,
Jamie
Tywin
does
wouldn't.
accept, if Jamie did accept Tyrion's request, Tywin would have disowned him again. So I don't think he would have cared about him that much. But yeah, just food for thought. Anyways, Tyrion continued on to speak with Bronn and then eventually Oberyn, and that scene with Oberyn was just as good as the trial scene, but I think the trial scene was personally a bit better. But just the scene with Bronn, that was a pretty emotional scene. It was a
Very.
bit different to the books, but Bronn, he makes so much sense. He makes so much sense. If it was reversed, if the situation was reversed, would Tyrion had left, the warmth of a woman to fight the mountain? I don't think he would, and Tyrion understands that. And it's just it's so sad to see that,
Yeah.
you
You
can't
be
do
mad
anything
at him.
about
You
him.
really can't. You
You can't be mad at
can't.
him.
Because anyone else would have did that shit behind Tyrion, and he looked Tyrion in the face,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I can't do it, bro. You on your own. I can't do it."
Game over, bro. Game
Pretty
over.
much. And he shook his hand, and even Tyrion was like, "I can't be mad at you. Even it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast."
Yeah, he even said that's why I like you.
Yeah, that's why I really like how they did that. I really like how they did that.
That was a great scene.
In
Yeah,
the books,
and
Bronn was more he was more cold towards Tyrion. He wasn't really that
Chummy.
emotional.
He left on good terms. He left on good terms,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, they left on good terms. Tyrion ultimately understood as he did in the show, so it was the same thing. And finally, the final bit with Oberyn and Tyrion. That story was such a powerful story, and it
So
just
glad to see
highlighted Cersei's hate for him. And I think you guys are right in saying that Cersei would have killed Tyrion over saving Jamie. even from him being a baby, she wished for his death. He was the one that killed their mother, and I think, man,
Yeah, I'm glad they
what you
put that
guys
scene
thought
in.
of that? Me
I'm glad
too.
they put
They
that
did it
scene
really
in.
well as well. I'm going to go so far as to say that the way they did the whole thing with Tyrion in this trial in the show was better than it was in the books. It was a lot more like it really pulled your heartstrings, and it was really really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, my question that I wanted to pose earlier, um, when you were talking about the whole bit about like would Cersei knowingly put Jaime in danger, sort of thing. When they were talking about naming the mountain as their champion. See, my thing was I was thinking about it more in with Tywin, and because okay, well, here's my first question: do we know who appointed the mountain as their champion? Was it Cersei or was it Tywin?
It's the person who's accusing them that chooses Cersei.
Okay, so it would have
Definitely.
been Cersei, right?
Yeah.
Tywin's the judge.
Okay, okay. Well, here's my question. Now, it's like I said, we've been calling the Mountain versus Oberyn thing since we saw the damn trailer.
Yeah.
They foreshadowed it in Oberyn's scene with Tywin earlier in the season, and then that's why the second, Tyrion said. Oh, also, the whole thing about it being Tyrion and Oberyn. If you go back to the fucking season premiere, who's the one that welcomes Oberyn in? Who's the one we get those one-on-one conversations with? It's him and Tyrion. So it was obvious that Oberyn was going to be the one to be his champion. Duh. Okay. Now that we've gotten the obvious out of the way, my question is this. Do you think Tywin would openly allow, or at least, do you think he would just allow Cersei to jeopardize Oberyn like that? This is what I mean. This is what I mean. First off, get this idea that, well, Oberyn's a grown-ass man. He can do what he wants. You really think Tywin's going to allow that to happen? This is a man who is the prince of a family that hates their guts. The man who belongs to the same family that his son had to sell off his fucking granddaughter to so that they wouldn't fucking align against them in season 2. And that he had to go ahead and be like, yeah, I'll set up this little sit down for you. I want you to be a judge in the trial. I'll even make you a member of the small council because he needed House Martell on his side. You think Tywin is I mean, he can't really be happy-go-lucky knowing it's like, wait a minute, you gonna put this motherfucker in a life and death situation with that big motherfucker? You know what happens if he gets killed?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So,
I know
pretty much, my question is this: do you think this was done without Tywin's knowledge?
Oh.
That's my real question. Do you think Tywin even knows about this?
No, I don't think he does.
Wow.
From where the story left off last episode, no one should know who Tyrion's champion is yet.
Well, no.
Yeah, the way,
Well, okay. What? Okay. Well, yeah. I
the
guess
way
that.
Oberyn walked in was inconspicuous. Like he himself privately just went to see Tyrion without having told anybody. So I don't think anyone knows that he has decided. Yeah, I think they're
Do
gonna
you
have
have
like
to announce your champion like beforehand, or can it just be like, all right, this dude's got my, he just pops up, all right, this dude right here, he's got.
Yeah, just like the way it happened in the Vale of Arryn when Tyrion chose Bronn. It just happened just like that. Like he just chose.
He didn't choose
Oh, Bronn saying.
It has to be a mutual agreement. The champion has to agree to it.
So you're saying that no one would ever expected Oberyn to declare himself Tyrion's champion, so they weren't worried about it. Because here's the thing. They brought the mountain to the capital. Remember, he wasn't fucking there. They brought him to the capital, and Tywin was supposed to be setting up this meeting between the two of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that because no one would have ever even entertained the thought, conceived the notion that he would have declared himself Tyrion's champion, they weren't really concerned. There was no need for concern.
I think Tywin probably thought he got through to Oberyn when it came to. I guess he underestimated his resolve in wanting to screw them over. I would say. Plus what he offered him on the council and to meet the mountain, probably he thought was enough to
to sway him from doing anything against them.
Right, exactly. Now, when it comes to the Mountain fighting him, I don't think there's much Tywin can do or try to stop anything, considering the rest of House Martell. Like, they know that Tywin, his hands are tied. Like you said, it is Oberyn's decision. He can do his own thing. So I don't think the Martells they probably are happy with the decision, to be honest with you. Oberyn's decision.
Well, yeah, because at least they get. I mean, now they get their stab at the Mountain. So,
Right.
but I mean, but that was my thing. It's like, I don't know. Maybe once again, maybe it's because it's the whole bit about the outsider looking in type thing. But I couldn't help but think it's like, would Tywin really? I mean, I wouldn't even take that fucking risk.
I mean,
That's my thing.
he went to. They had a meeting at the brothel,
Right.
and said, "Oh, I'll help you find the Mountain, and so on and so forth. Here's an agreement." They shook on it.
Right.
They shook on it, and then, if I was Tywin, listen, no shit's given. I would have kept a close eye on Oberyn. Really would have.
Yeah, it seems really, and if you really thinking about it, it does seem weird that if Tywin didn't want this to happen, or just something that would affect Tywin negatively, he would have made precautions to prevent this from happening, like he does with everything else.
Right. Exactly. That's the point I wanted to make.
That this is simple as Cersei. You can't choose the Mountain as your champion because that right there would, and Oberyn would have gave two fucks about that.
Right. Exactly.
So it does seem really weird that this would. So this might not affect Tywin. I mean, Tywin's the kind of guy he thinks 10 moves ahead.
So you could say
testing what particularly to help to prevent anything bad happening to him. That's how we've seen the characters thus far. So
you could say that Tywin miscalculated two things. One, Oberyn's hatred for the Lannisters, even after everything Tywin gave him, and two, Tyrion's resolve to get back at him instead of living and going up to the wall. I guess
that last point you made is I think what seals it, because Tywin didn't expect Tyrion to want to gamble this risk, because Tyrion was guaranteed his life in the wall if he was to just comply, and Tywin didn't anticipate that Tyrion would just throw his life away the way he possibly could have now with Oberyn fighting the Mountain.
Well, I wouldn't even go as far as to say he was guaranteed. He wasn't guaranteed shit. Motherfuckers get killed in prison all the time. You ain't guaranteed shit.
No, but for him to be sent to the wall, like, as a means to being executed, I think that was... Jaime told him, "You trust me," and Tyrion does trust Jaime. And if he had just stayed silent, Tyrion understood that he would have gone to the wall. And Tywin wouldn't have anticipated Tyrion to throw his life away the way he did. So I think Tywin's not perfect. He's a human being.
Yeah, I don't think Tywin thought Tyrion had the balls to do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Shit.
Well,
What would happen if? Yeah. No. Continue.
no, I'm done. No, I was just saying, like, yeah, that happened. that was my only real question.
So yeah, it's gonna be the Viper in the Mountain. If the Viper loses, Tyrion would be executed as well.
Mm-hmm.
What are the chances of that happening?
Of what?
Of the Viper losing and Tyrion being executed.
Oh, you're asking my person, like, what I think will actually happen in the trial by count?
Just everyone, yeah, like, what are the chances, what are the odds placing bets now?
I can't judge. Look,
okay, wait, hold on. First, let's not place bets because I'm not a Lannister. I actually do collect, so y'all motherfucker put down money. Yeah, Rick, I know where you are in California. Bankai, I know where you are, on the fucking East Coast. Bas, don't think I can't get to Australia. I'm gonna get my fucking money. So let's not play bets.
Win against me.
Because I'm gonna get my fucking money.
I actually do have a bet with a coworker. I actually do have a bet going with my coworker.
You gonna give me my money. No. But anyway, I'll put it like this. I think that, in all honesty, it could go either way. And and that's not really based much on the characters themselves as it is based off of narrative. I think if you look at narrative, it would to say that the mountain could be taken out, that would be an easy choice. Why? He's not that big of a character to begin with. Also, but at the same time, to say that Oberyn could be taken out, the same thing can be said, because we've seen multiple times in this series where a character is killed almost immediately after they're introduced, like sometimes within the same season. Also, I know for a fact House Martell is supposed to play a bigger role in next season. If that's the case, Oberyn's death would be the perfect conduit to set that event in motion.
Why do you say House Martell is going to be bigger in next season?
Oh, because I've always known that.
Okay.
I've always known that from fucking people I've talked to. Well, actually, I blame fucking Melina. She's the rabid House Martell fan. And I'm like, what the fuck is up with these guys? And so, yeah, I mean, you can just go on Wikipedia, type in House Martell, and they'll tell you. Storm of Swords, Feast for Crows. So,
depends how big a role you
also I read it. I saw a headline for an article earlier today that said casting has begun for House Martell. It's real fucking easy to find this stuff out. Once again, I don't know who from House Martell. I don't know what role they're supposed to play or how they're even supposed to fit into this motherfucker. But I know they're supposed to be coming. So,
all I'm gonna say, that's a big boy, and that's a little dude. But the funny thing about Game of Thrones fights, though, it's the littlest thing that will get you killed in a fight, and we've seen that so many times.
yeah.
Let's look at how Jaime killed Ned's right-hand dude. What's his name? One tiny slip up, and it was a dagger through the eye. I mean, look how Jon won his fight this season, even though it was filler. Still, one slip off, you took him out the fight, sword in the mouth, through the head. You know, it's the little things sometimes that get you killed in these fights. So
Yes.
So who's going to slip up? Who's most
that's
likely
the
to
question.
slip
It's
up?
whoever slips up first. I can see the Mountain slipping up before. Over. I definitely can see the big boy slipping up because from what we've seen, if what I believe is true with the conversation between Oberyn and Varys, Oberyn obviously I think learned a thing or two from the Unsullied.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oberyn's mission in life has been to avenge his sister, or probably all the Martells. So how do you do that? You become the best fighter you can possibly be. How do you become the best fighter you can possibly be? You learn multiple styles of fighting.
All right.
So it's who's gonna make that first slip up though. Even Braun said it. Like, if I slip up, I'm dead.
Yeah, but if the Mountain slips up, I mean, look how big this guy is. I mean, how many thrusts would you have to give him before he goes down, you know? It's a tough call. All factors must be considered.
If I was Oberyn, I would use my speed and my smaller size. I would try to tire him out. That's what I would do first. It's not an easy task because he's freakishly fast, you know, whatnot, like Braun said. But that would be my goal: is to tire him out, hit and run. That's what I would do.
Yeah, at the same time. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I was playing the playback from the live stream, and I kept hearing Rick talk, and I was like, I know I was in the middle of fucking saying something, and Rick keeps fucking talking. Oh man, that was so fucking funny. I was like, why is Rick still talking? Quiet. No. What I was gonna say was, as far as fighting tactics are concerned, most people forget is, like, more often than not, when you facing a big opponent, you gotta cut the fucking down. Why do you think they made Chucky such a fucking formidable horror film character? Because he always went for your fucking ankles, little bastard. Yeah. Cut that motherfucker down, man. Slice them legs. Break his kneecaps. Stab him in his feet or some shit. Also, remember, fucking Oberyn uses a spear. Long range middle range weapon. So, there's that too. He'll be fine, I think.
Yeah, he'll be fine. It's all right.
Not really.
Maybe.
I mean,
Possibly.
It's Game of Thrones. Don't get attached to nobody. If y'all don't know this by now, why the fuck are you watching this show?
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, so let's see. What is our next topic for discussion?
I guess we have the last one, which is Littlefinger and Sansa. The Eerie. Crazy bitch. Go flying.
Oh, yeah, Eerie. You said it. See what I did there? Because it's called the Eerie, and Eerie is also a word that means creepy. See. Do you get the joke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lame bastards.
This scene is two parts, and I think these two parts play really well to each other. First off is Sansa with the snow and whatnot, which was, I found it like, I felt for Sansa. Like, honestly, this episode, the first time in forever, I actually think Sansa was really good. Really do. Her reminiscing about home and whatnot, it was really touching, I think. And, her little snow castle, and then Robin's ADD ass coming in. I like the fact they set up a little bit of dialogue, but I really like the fact that Sansa found her pimp hand, finally, after all this time. But I like, Larry, I know you ragged on her for getting mad. I think Sansa acted, I can't blame Sansa. Everything she's been through, and this, and just reminiscing about home, and this little ADD brat, just coming in and ruining it. And she didn't even get mad. He's the one that threw the hissy fit. She's like, I gotta redo this now. He's the one that just went like ape shit over it. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. And she put him in check.
Yeah.
So I can't blame Sansa for that. I can't blame her at all for that.
The castle
And then
looked very
Littlefinger watching
intricate.
the whole time.
And difficult
Littlefinger
and
watching the whole
complex.
time. Huh?
The castle looked complex and difficult to make, so it's justified that she would get angry like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But Littlefinger coming in and watching, and everything, and that interaction, the transition from going from I could have been your father to then kissing her was like really threw me off.
Yeah,
Really threw me off.
Wow.
That was some creepy shit. But nah, that was just nasty. Fuck creepy. That was just nasty.
But okay, all right. But here's the funny part. Someone in my comment section. All right, someone in my comment section put an interesting theory. This person's name is Spirit of Slumber. He says, "Do you think Littlefinger knew Lisa was watching and kissed Sansa to piss off Lisa so that he could throw her through the moon door?" I mean, it seems coincidental that Lisa would have been there the first time he kisses Sansa, and he'd be there to throw her through the moon door when Lisa would try to kill Sansa. Now Sansa owes him because he saved her again. And he got rid of Lisa. No witnesses either but Sansa. And
So
of
you
course, we all
think
know
he
what
set her
he
up?
did. Yeah. And
That's
the
an
whole episode,
interesting
I was
theory.
thinking, I never thought of it because
Why am I
thinking,
echoing? Where am I echoing from?
I don't know.
Echo.
Not me.
Not me.
I get it. Anyway, but yeah, that's an interesting theory. Wouldn't have thought about that.
Because, I mean, you would think this would be a miscalculation, especially we look at the preview, that it could have been a miscalculation on Littlefinger's part. But every time we think Littlefinger made a miscalculation, he's like, nah, I got this. Don't trip. I got this. So, what do you guys think?
Littlefinger doesn't make mistakes. I mean, first of all, the location which he made his move was in a courtyard, which is a very public courtyard. I'm surprised there was no one else there. It seems like there's only 3 people in that entire castle. But just his placement of doing it in the courtyard is like a public platform, and he just do it so spontaneously and sudden. It's like I think that theory it's sort of it is an interesting one. It sort of does make sense. Like, is he really that stupid to just? I mean, he's. I think that theory makes sense actually.
I think so too, because like it's just so coincidental too that he happened to be there when she had Sansa by the back of the neck, ready to throw her ass through the moon door.
You honestly think that
Exactly.
kissing her on the courtyard, that he automatically knew that Liza was going to be right there?
Yeah, I don't buy that.
I don't buy it, but at the end of the day, before this episode, I had doubts about Littlefinger, but after this episode, those doubts are gone. And
I agree with you, Bankai.
I meant doubts about the whole red wedding thing, the whole thing about Cat.
Yeah, that was really good too. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
people think that no, I think he made this move because of the red wedding. He acted now. I actually really do believe that now. From what he said, what do we do to those that are the ones to hurt the ones we love? I truly, absolutely, positively, 100% believe he acted now because of what the Lannisters did to in their part in the red wedding.
But if he was going to act on that, like because Sansa asked him why did you kill Joffrey, and he says because of what he did to Cat. But I don't think Joffrey had a hand in it at all. If it was
He did.
Walder Frey and Tywin and Roose Bolton, if he really wanted to avenge her, he would have gone for them. And he caused chaos in the process, which drives him.
But all right, and then it goes back to what he said. That line he said, "The songs on the boat." Littlefinger, he creates chaos, and then he achieves his goals through chaos. How do you create chaos with the royal court? You kill the king. How do you hurt? What's the best way to hurt the Lannisters? Kill Joffrey.
Honestly, I think chaos would have been I think it would have been even more chaotic if you killed Tywin.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say the best way to hurt the Lannisters is not to fucking kill Joffrey.
I disagree because Tywin, yes, it would have caused chaos, but it could have been controlled chaos. I think killing Joffrey created far more chaos and whatnot than it's one thing. All right, if you kill Tywin, all you gotta do is find a new hand of king. But now you had to find a new king. You had to have everyone focused on grooming Tommen for his crowning and everything.
yeah.
All their eyes are on Tommen.
He may have wanted to kill Tywin, but what does that give the Tyrells? They were in on it too, and they had no real beef with Tywin. They didn't want Joffrey.
Exactly.
So limited. He's limited in what he can do.
How the Tyrells helped. The Tyrells, I don't see them playing up because Olenna was passive aggressive about that the whole first couple episodes about how she disapproved of what they did. So I don't think the Tyrells played a part. I mean, the Tyrells played a part in them winning and beating Stannis, but as far as the Red Wedding, that was all.
No. What I meant is, you're saying that Littlefinger should have killed, or somebody else, maybe not you, but they're saying how Littlefinger should have killed Tywin in order to cause more chaos. But the thing is, the Tyrells wouldn't have lent a hand in that because
he needed help. Obviously, he couldn't just be on his own.
Yeah, that's what I was addressing.
Olenna got exactly what she wanted.
Exactly.
Okay, so I can see to your point that killing Joffrey causes chaos, but so do you believe that he was sincere when he said that he killed Joffrey to avenge Cat? Because that to me doesn't make sense when he said it.
Nah, I don't think he was sincere in that. I think he playing Sansa for a fool.
I think he is.
I don't know. I don't feel that because I think that's like the one honest thing about Littlefinger is his love for Cat.
So you think that's the main motivation, 100% of the motivation for why he did what he did?
Not everything he does, but I think in this sense, to make the move that he did, I think so. Yes, I do. Because I mean, if you look at every character, as far as they are, they usually have one redeeming quality. Cersei's her love for her children. Tywin's the loyalty.
Wait! Don't forget her cheekbones.
And Littlefinger, it's his love for Cat. And with Littlefinger, it's his love for Cat. That's like his one redeeming, like the one honest, good emotion that he's had. Mm-hmm. And also we see that usually those redeeming qualities are the cause of him doing terrible things. Tywin will do anything for the sake of his family, for his family to be in power. Cersei, we see what her love for her children does. You let Joffrey run wild and be a monster. And we see what Littlefinger's done from his love for Cat. He literally destroyed the Stark family so he could get Cat. Unfortunately, that didn't work that way.
I think the primary reason for killing Joffrey, as it was the primary reason for killing Lysa, was they were unpredictable. Unpredictability doesn't work well with him, so he decided to kill them off.
Exactly. Can't do nothing with somebody like that, man. Can't do nothing with them loose cannons. Mm-hmm. You got to get rid of those crazy motherfuckers. I'm surprised Bankai's still in these live streams, man. That nigga crazy.
Oh shit. But yeah,
the whole time he just be sitting there plotting. I know he's plotting on me. I see him, nigga. Dude, that was a fucking joke. Come on, people. Jesus.
Bankai did laugh. He did laugh.
Ha ha ha.
No. With me, Larry, the Bankai jokes are getting old, so I guess that's why I didn't laugh. I'm getting tired of hearing about that shit. But anyways, I think we can disagree. We can agree to disagree. I mean, I think, it was strongly hinted in this episode of why he did what he did, and his infatuation with Kat. And I think it was another Littlefinger chess move, but it could be not. Who knows? I mean, who knows? What anything else? I mean, that's what I say about the episode now.
That's who knows.
Martin knows all.
Martin knows.
And Martin.
I know everything.
Alrighty.
Feel the beard of George Martin.
George Martin.
That man does have an epic beard.
Yeah, he does.
Alrighty then. So let's see. In the I guess that'll bring us to final thoughts on the episode. I guess just any last thoughts rather. Last call.
I just want to say that
you got center stage, boss man.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I ain't got nothing else to say about this episode.
Yeah, but you have your segment.
Oh yeah. Well, I was thinking about cutting that for time. I mean, I think we're like at an hour in.
Well,
I mean, if y'all really want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all want to.
It's your show. It's your show.
Because I was going to, but I don't want to.
If you had just typed a little something in the chat,
I was trying. You beat me to it. I was literally typing. You said boss man. I was like, fuck. He called me on it. I had it halfway typed.
Look, if the king doesn't communicate with it, if Stannis don't tell Davos what to do, Davos don't know what to do.
Why you used a bad example? Stannis, king of what? King of losing. King getting his ass.
I can't use Tywin as an example because we all know who really runs that show. I mean, I don't think you want me to make that example.
Okay. How about we do this? I'll take the next minute or so. I'll let the viewers, the 70 of them watching, I'll let them decide. Pretty much my idea to close out this discussion was a little speculation bit going into the last 3 episodes. You now have to tell me if you want to see it. Because if not, I'm wrapping this damn thing up. I'm going to go get me a turkey sandwich.
A prediction.
Go kill those turkeys.
That minute started it already started. I don't see nobody commenting.
The comments all that bankai.
Nick said house Maine. Maine ain't even started stream yet.
No, actually, he did. He sent me a notification.
He did?
Yeah, he posted it in there.
He didn't send me shit. Fuck him too. Matter of fact, Bankai, message him back. Tell him that. Tell him say Larry. Larry said, "Well, fuck you too."
Oh my god, it's funny.
All right. Well, anyway, now I think we'll just go ahead and we'll end it there. So, once again, I want to thank you all for joining me again this week. How many times I gotta apologize for assholes in the comments? Don't worry, I've been blocking the motherfucker this entire live stream, which is why I haven't been talking as much. I don't know if you all have noticed that. You probably have. But yeah, shit happens. Dumbasses. What can you do? Except just pray that they burn in the holy fucking fire, and yeah, you know what it is. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap up this week's live discussion. I want to thank you all for joining me again this week. As always, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief.
Animerick here, Hand of the King. Really enjoyed the episode, but I'm gonna hold a little bit. Sunday, no Game of Thrones, but we got Penny Dreadful. Episode reviews of Penny Dreadful are on my channel. Check it out. Awesome new show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, SMX Wing, Master Whispers. Resident Stannis fanboy. Stannis fans unite. That's it. Good episode.
He
Good.
talks like Stannis too, with so much emotion and bass in his voice and everything.
Yes.
Good
It's
stream.
Bas Nation here. It's Bas Nation here, master of coins. It's been a great stream. Thanks, Larry. And also, Rick, Penny Dreadful, a great show. I'm gonna watch your review later.
Really enjoying it.
Okay, Bankai 922, Master Ships, good episode. Yeah, there's no Game of Thrones this week, but I might check out Normal Heart, even though I might check that out. I might watch that
movie?
that movie, yeah, because a lot of good actors in it. Ruffalo, Julia Roberts.
What's it called?
Normal Heart. It has to do with the AIDS virus in 1980s. I might check that out. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Alrighty. And one final note. Since as everyone's been pretty much their plans for the upcoming week, since there will be no Game of Thrones, I am going on a motherfucking vacation. Well, I'm not going on a vacation. I'm just taking a break from YouTube for the week because I've been fucking uploading every week since March, and I'm tired. So I will be on break this upcoming week. Tomorrow, you will get the last video before the break, and that's going to be this week's Character Spotlight video. So, if you have not done so yet, please feel free to check out the Game of Thrones TV room on Beamly.com. As always, link is in the description box below. That is where the third and final round of the Spotlight Sweepstakes will take place. You will have two spots. The Hound Spotlight video that's posted on there right now. In the comments of that post, you can go ahead, leave suggestions for the character to be discussed in tomorrow night's video, and like the one you want to see me discuss, and you will also have a chance in this video's post in the TV room right now. It's because there are people who are watching me on Beamly right now, streaming right now simultaneously. I know it's crazy. This technology shit is crazy. Right now, in the comments of this post on the Game of Thrones TV room, you can leave suggestions for a character for tomorrow night's video in the comments, like the one you want to see me discuss tomorrow night. And whoever gets the most votes, they will be the third and final finalist in the Spotlight Sweepstakes, the raffle for which is going to take place in the following Spotlight video, the one for week 8. When I get around to week 8, when Game of Thrones come back, that's when I'll do the raffle. Anyway, so with that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, signing off, and until next time, peace.